Hello and welcome. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on NewsX World. Let's take a quick look at some of the top stories we're tracking this hour. Military airstrikes have reportedly resumed in Myanmar as the death toll from a devastating 7.7 magnitude earthquake has risen to at least 1,007 in the country that has been facing a civil war since 2021. Rescue operations are ongoing in Myanmar and Bangkok, Thailand, where around 50 people are still unaccounted for after a building collapsed. Leaders from across the world have come out in support for Myanmar, pledging funds and rescue teams to the devastated country. US President Donald Trump has vowed to support the nation despite cutting US aid, while Russia, China, India, New Zealand and South Korea are amongst the nations who have already sent support to Myanmar. More than 90 people are feared trapped under the rubble of a collapsed apartment building in Mandalay, Myanmar. The Red Cross has issued this warning as rescue operations continue. Myanmar's military council reports over 1,500 houses have been damaged in the area. Denmark's foreign minister has slammed comments from J.D. Vance made during the vice president's visit to Greenland. US President Donald Trump has said the US needs Greenland for international security, while Putin appears to endorse the US over their comments on the Danish-ruled autonomous island. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky has said a new US draft minerals deal is entirely different to the previous version, requiring further assessment by lawyers. Meanwhile, Russian strikes in Dnipro have killed at least 4 people and injured 21 others. Hamas have signaled they are ready for a hostage exchange coinciding with a ceasefire for the Islamic festival of Eid al-Fitr. The US and Qatar are involved in the negotiation amidst anti-Hamas protests in the Gaza Strip. Israel has struck southern Beirut for the first time since the November Hezbollah ceasefire after rockets targeted Israel from Lebanon. Experts warn the strikes risk escalating tensions in the region. New Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney has said US President Trump respected Canada's sovereignty in their first phone call since Carney was appointed. Trump said the call was extremely productive, though Carney has signaled that retaliatory tariffs will still go ahead. China has said it has conducted a military patrol in the South China Sea. This comes as US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth visited the Philippines, discussing rising tensions in the region while pledging support for Manila. Our big focus this hour: airstrikes and drone attacks continue to ravage Myanmar following the recent earthquake, with the military targeting several regions. The Sagaing region, one of the most heavily affected by the quake, has seen bombings in Nue Kwai village carried out by parachute-borne machine guns. Other strikes have also targeted Liva in the Kayin state near the Karen National Union headquarters and Pew in the Bago region, exacerbating the situation in an already devastated country. In response to the widespread destruction, a temporary hospital has been established at Mandalay Airport after the earthquake severely damaged the runways, causing significant disruptions to transportation. The Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, has now pledged to offer humanitarian support to Myanmar and Thailand, recognizing the urgent need for assistance. ASEAN is coordinating efforts amongst its 10-member countries. International support is also flooding in, with China sending a rescue team to Yangon. Other nations, including Russia, India, Malaysia and Singapore, are dispatching relief supplies and personnel. India's Foreign Minister Subramaniam Jaishankar confirmed that more aid would be sent, while South Korea has pledged $2 million in humanitarian assistance. The United States has also confirmed its support. The Chinese government has committed 100 million yuan in emergency aid for Myanmar, which includes 2 rescue teams and essential supplies such as tents, blankets and medical kits. The death toll has now risen to 1,007, with 2,389 others injured. Another earthquake of magnitude 4.2 struck Myanmar late Friday, compounding the damage from the earlier 7.7 magnitude tremor. And Brian Thomas is now joining us live on the broadcast. Brian, what is now complicating the situation in Myanmar is the fact that there are now strikes which have resumed. Give us more details about these strikes in Myanmar and what the situation now on ground is. A temporary makeshift hospital also now has come up at the Mandalay airport.
Well, definitely, Uday, at the very Mandalay airport, yes, a temporary hospital has been built. And even we are talking about Myanmar, where civil war was continuing from the year 2021. And then post that also, there was no relief. But still soon, this earthquake has jolted Myanmar, and there were several quakes also that has happened. We are talking about a 7.7 Richter scale earthquake, then post that there was another 4.4, 4.3, and even in, today itself there was a 4.3, two rather earthquakes that have even jolted Myanmar as well, the aftershocks rather. And now missile attacks have also resumed also. You have one kind of a problem that is happening, that is causing havoc, that is causing damage to the population, where around 1,007 people have lost their lives. And then apart from that, you have these very missile attacks also. Yes, definitely a makeshift hospital has definitely been made at the the airport. Many countries are also extending support. You talk about China, you talk about US, you talk about India. All the international support are gaining momentum. They are all coming ahead and coming forward and aiding Myanmar in this dire crisis. But again, the big question remains: will this help in the military attacks, in this gunfire, in this bomb blasting that is happening, the missile turnouts that is happening? You have these crises that needs to be altered, that needs to be done better, that needs to come to a solution. But apart from that, you have these attacks on a simultaneous range going on, that is again causing harm to other people's lives as well.
Now, Brian, you are at the Chatuchak market currently in Bangkok in Thailand. Take us through the situation there. In the Chatuchak market, are you seeing now people coming out onto the streets as Bangkok slowly limps back to normal after this devastating quake yesterday? Also, Chatuchak market, I think, is not too far away from the building collapse as well, where rescue efforts are still on.
Well, Uday, see, definitely, I am at the Chatuchak market. You can see these visuals. Now, I am at this very place where this entire road has been cordoned off. No vehicular movements are, being allowed, except for the fact it needs to be an official vehicle. It needs to be someone who is aiding. On the other side, you have the market area as well. But this entire area has been sealed off. Ahead is the very famous JJ Mall also, which is one of the very busiest roads. This road is normal days and normal times. You see, this is a very busy road. But due to this mishap that has happened in Chatuchak also, you see this entire road has been cordoned off also, where rescue operations have been going on. But rest of the Bangkok, the situation is pretty normal. We were showing, I was reporting with you also, that we've shown a tuk-tuk ride also that we've taken. It was a normal road, it was a normal traffic flow. But here at this very location, yes, definitely this area has been cordoned off also, because just 200 meters away is that very building that has fallen yesterday, Uday.
Absolutely. Stay with us. More breaking news, in fact, coming in now this hour. More than 90 people are still trapped beneath the rubble of Mandalay's Sky Villa condominium. 9 have been confirmed dead, while 44 have been rescued so far. According to Red Cross officials, with the city's hospitals at full capacity, vehicles rushed towards Pin U Luin, down 2 hours away, to transport the injured. Brian Thomas continues to be live with us. Brian, as far as, of course, now the situation in Myanmar is concerned, we're learning that not just Bangkok, but in Myanmar as well. Okay, I think we've lost Brian Thomas there, but we're getting more breaking news coming in. All right, meanwhile, India is deploying 80 NDRF personnel to Myanmar for earthquake relief under Operation Brahma. They are equipped with concrete cutters, drill machines and other rescue tools. The team will be supporting relief and rescue efforts in the affected areas. Officials confirmed this deployment. All right, more breaking developments now coming in this hour. Thailand is to send military team to Myanmar for earthquake relief. Prime Minister Phetung Tharn Shinawatra has ordered Defence Minister Phumtham Wechayachai to mobilize troops. A 49-member rescue team, including medical personnel, will depart tomorrow aboard a Thai Air Force C-130. Further breaking developments, in fact, on the broadcast. Thai Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra said the country has returned to normalcy after a powerful earthquake shook Bangkok. She confirmed that only one under construction building collapsed in the capital, with no similar damage elsewhere. Authorities are now investigating the incident to assess further construction standards. Myanmar earthquake survivors are digging through rubble with bare hands as a shortage of heavy machinery hampers rescue efforts. The 7.7 magnitude quake has left cities like Mandalay in devastation, with hundreds feared trapped. A rescue worker in Amarapura says 140 monks remain buried under debris. Myanmar civil war has crippled disaster response, but international aid is arriving. A Chinese rescue team was the first to land in Yangon as the military government makes a rare plea for help. The death toll from Myanmar's devastating earthquake is expected to rise, with the Red Cross warning that millions are at risk. Francesca Capolongo from the International Federation of the Red Cross stated that over 18 million people live in the quake-impacted areas and the search and rescue efforts continue. The current death toll stands at 1,007, according to Myanmar's military, but that number is likely to increase as rescue teams reach more affected regions. Many survivors are now without shelter, clean water or health care. In more breaking developments now coming in this hour, King Charles III has expressed his deepest sympathy to the people of Myanmar following yesterday's devastating earthquake, which has claimed over 1,000 lives. In a heartfelt message, the King praised the resilience of the Myanmar people, acknowledging their enduring hardship. He and Queen Camilla offered their condolences to those who have lost loved ones, homes and livelihoods in the tragedy. Well, joining us now is Pinyupa Playan Bangchang, independent researcher, is joining us live from Thailand. Appreciate you joining us on the broadcast. What is the situation on ground? What are you seeing around you as Thailand slowly now reels from this earthquake and seeks to recover? How have you been affected, or those close to you?
If you can hear the music in the background, it's the concert that has been planned for some time in my area. The concert is going on as planned. The event things are getting back to normal. So we are pretty much getting back to normal right now. We are recuperating quite well with the help of the government and the king.
Absolutely. Even as King Charles has sent his sympathies from the United Kingdom, many other international countries also, of course, pledging their support to Thailand as well as Myanmar, sending aid and rescue as well. The world really, Pinyupa, is fast sending relief and help, not just to Myanmar but also to Thailand.
Yes, we are very grateful, especially for Indian people who are very kind and sending help. Indian people in Thailand are very helpful. They send help, they donate things, food and drink and water to people in need, especially patients in the hospital that has to be evacuated from the building to the ground. So we are very grateful.
Yes, Pinyupa, also let me ask you about your latest, what you are hearing about that building collapse. Which had occurred in Bangkok. That is a real challenge, yes. Isn't it? A lot of people, of course, still fear trapped inside the rubble. How complicated is the rescue and relief there on ground?
Actually, let me clarify. The building is the building under construction. It's not the building that is in use. It's still under construction. So everyone that is trapped inside are the construction worker, not the people in general. And yes, they are still trapped inside, but the K9 team and the rescue team are trying their best to get them out. Lately, we get more alive out, and one cat get rescued out of the debris also. So we are looking on the bright side that more people are alive under the debris. We are working around the clock here and hopefully more people are found alive. Only one building collapsed, but there are more problems with the high-rise building, especially condominium. There are many high-rise buildings in Bangkok, so most of them are under the process of checking the safety of the construction before letting people
Yes.
getting back to home. Yeah.
Pinupa Plian Bangchang, thank you very much for joining us with your perspective on that big story. Shifting our focus now, a large Russian drone attack has struck the southeastern Ukrainian city of Dnipro, killing 4 people and injuring 19 others. The assault caused a massive fire in a hotel and restaurant complex, along with fires in a high-rise apartment building and nearly 10 private homes. Serhiy Lysak, governor of the Dnipro region, reported on Telegram that firefighters had managed to control the blaze at the hotel complex. However, the casualty toll is expected to rise, with 3 of the injured in serious condition. More than 20 drones were launched at the city, though most were intercepted by air defenses. Videos and photos shared online showed extensive damage, with flames, smoke, shattered glass and debris scattered across the streets. Zelensky pointed his finger at the Russian President Vladimir Putin. Well, this is what he said.
Все, що він робить, відтягує будь-яку можливість, будь-який процес перемовин і відтягує будь-які можливості кроків до закінчення війни. Він не хоче закінчувати війну.
Joining us now live is Glenn Grant, ex-advisor of Defense Minister of Ukraine. He's joining us live from Riga. Glenn Grant, appreciate you joining us on NewsX. Let me begin by asking you about these latest, attacks, in the Ukrainian town of Dnipro. What is the casualty figure that you're hearing, and are these latest, is this latest aggravation by Russia only complicating mediation efforts?
First, I don't know what the casualty figures are, so it's too early to actually to say. But it's not good, and it's especially not good, as you know, because Putin says he's not going to attack energy facilities, but then just turns his air force drones and missiles straight onto normal people's housing, which is pretty as evil as you can get.
Glenn Grant, where do you really see the true Stokes progressing? Are things moving in the right direction, or are we still a while away from a whole, a complete ceasefire and truce?
They're not progressing at all, and I'll explain why. First of all, Trump has got no leverage over Russia at all, and he's not even been asking the Russians to compromise on anything. So all he's come out from his talks with the Russians is a list of even more demands against the Ukrainian people, and this is daily now. It's just demand, including the most recent of saying that there should be a United Nations structure put in place to govern Ukraine. This is complete and utter nonsense. But on the other side, as you know, that the Americans have produced this absolutely bizarre request to Ukraine, which totally and utterly beyond belief, actually, are demanding almost everything from Ukraine. And I just quote to you, one official says, "It's given the impression that Ukraine fought a war with the United States, lost, was conquered, and now is forced to pay reparations for life." And that is, having seen the document, that is exactly what it's like. US is demanding everything from Ukraine, which is bizarre.
Right. In fact, we also do believe, Glenn, that there is now a new minerals deal which has been offered by the US to Ukraine. Ukraine is currently studying that as we speak. What is the likelihood of that being signed in the next a few days? Also, what is likely to be the Ukrainian response to this latest offensive by Russia?
Okay, I was just talking about that deal. What I just said, that was the deal that has come back, and it's not a minerals deal. The minerals deal was the first one. This is 10 times worse than any deal. It's demanding Ukraine give everything to America. It's just list after list after list of points that the Americans want, including the governance of the deal being completely American, with 3 Americans and 2 Ukrainians, which means America would have the power to do this. And so that's the deal. I mean, the response from Ukraine is they're just going to keep fighting. There is no choice. Russia is not stopping, and it's going to keep fighting, and Ukraine will have to do its best with or without American support.
All right, Glenn Grant, appreciate you for the time being joining us with your perspective on that big story. And that's all the time we have for on this particular edition of World Report. We will continue to bring you more news and updates from around the world on NewsX World. Stay with us. For the time being, a quick break.